those things as an issue. And you know, when you correct those, then the horse's head and neck becomes compliant. Because he's in a better balance. He will not give you control of his head and his neck if he's struggling for his balance. You see what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Now you're saying when I'm doing canter that to the right, I was, even within the leg yield, allowing him to like go out my outside leg?
You did.
Okay, and am I using, sometimes I feel like I use too much inside rein to get something?
Yeah. Well, what it should be, ideally, is it should be mostly inner leg and a smattering of inner rein.
Yeah.
So the suggesting needs to come from the rein, the insisting should come from the leg.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of times when the horses are a little bit strong in the hand, and because we are human beings, you know, we have idiosyncrasies and we have our default setting also. Just like the horse has the default setting of being on the forehand, we have the default setting of being two-handsy. Because that's how we live, that's how we go through our world,
Yeah.
doing stuff with our hands. So it's not instinctive for us to correct the horse with the leg in the seat for the most part, and like a third of the correction coming from the hand. You know, we do it the other way around. We usually do 2/3 with the hand and maybe 1/3 with the leg. So you're going to spend a lifetime trying to train yourself to get out of that default setting and try to do it the other way. And sometimes it's necessary to get a little bit strong with the hand, but you can't live there. Okay? You need to do sometimes, like if a horse is really strong or really rude, and you know, you try to negotiate and they're just like, it's not happening. Okay, then you have to pull them up, and that's not a pretty sight. But once that's over, you have to say, okay, that's over, we start again from scratch.
Yeah.
And a lot of riders have a hard time switching back and forth from riding hard or soft. You know, riders are typically either a soft rider or a hard rider. But to be a good rider and to be able to ride every horse you sit on, you have to be able to go up and down that whole continuum at any moment. If you need to be really firm, you can, but at the next moment, if you need to be like a feather, you do. And most people kind of get going one or the other.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and pick him up. And again, pay attention to what his reaction is as you pick him up. You know, he typically speeds up a little bit. You know, it's sort of like, okay, well, I'm gonna set, you know, how this is gonna go. And so you have to quietly give him a little half halt to say, no, don't take charge. You know, you have to be in a state of balance, and you have to wait for further instruction. So let's keep him on the circle here, Sarah, and then we'll go back to the trot. When you get your trot organized, then we'll go back to the canter. And you know, if you find that the canter doesn't get better by continuing the canter, you come back to the trot, regroup, and put the horse, you know, in a better place. And your dialogue with him right now is a lot more sophisticated at the trot than it is in the canter. So what we're trying to do is to carry over some of the ideas that he understands at the walk and the trot. We're trying to help him understand that he can. All right, so this is where he's you know, giving a little opinion here about, well, are we really going to have to do this? And so you're going to have to say, yeah, you know, you've got to dig deep, buddy. You know, this is a little like work. But, you know,